Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is HalusaTwin, and aside from making music, I like to make these stupid videos where I theorize or talk about the best moments of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super, including Dragon Ball GT. Today I'd like to give you my top 10 best fighting or combat moments of Dragon Ball Super to date. I'm going to choose each attack and explain a little bit about the reason why I think it is where it is in the list and the impact it had on me when I first watched it. So starting in reverse chronological order, let's start with number 10, the Ki Volleyball attack. This, by what I mean, is the move that Krillin and 18 used together in episode 99 when they were fighting the Dog Warriors from Universe 4, I think it was Universe 4, and where they did the massive team up anyway. Krillin comes in, saves the day, Krillin and 18 fighting together, and they bounce a Ki volley off each other that increases with power every time they do it. And then I think it's Krillin, or it might be, I can't remember, I think it's 18 actually, that fires the Ki Blast eventually at the wolf guy in the red outfit, or sort of, it's kind of a burgundy outfit, and fires him off the edge, and they win that fight. I just thought it was really impressive, the technique used and how they were fighting in sync with each other, and everyone wanted it anyway. It was kind of like theorized, but everyone wanted it anyway, because when characters like this get together and they combine their attacks, it's always more interesting than just seeing a one-on-one fight. Number 9. Kaya's Buster Shell Spread Attack. I actually don't know what it's called. I'm just making that one up based on a Broly attack. I think one of his attacks is called Buster Shell, which is basically where he shoots Ki blasts from every direction just from his body, and they just explode everywhere, and they're just like super strong. And as you know, from episode 100, when KALE releases the beast, if you will, which goes completely berserk, there's one, well, apart from the whole episode looking like, you know, parts were taken out of a Broly movie, 1 and 2 by the looks of things, where they used different scenes from different shots and stuff, looked almost identical, especially when she grabs, when Goku does his Super Kamehameha, Super Saiyan Blue Ki Wave, and she tanks it and then grabs him by the face. That same episode there's this one moment where she's on top of like a pillar of broken rubble, and she's screaming, and Ki blasts are just flying everywhere, and the whole place just goes completely dark with that green sort of like shimmer, and bodies are just flying all over the place. I thought that was a really great moment, because episode 100 was leading up to something going to be epic, and we knew it was going to be the full release of you know, everyone's favorite non-canon character, Broly, in the form of KALE, getting their debut. Obviously it was cut short at the end where Jiren just one-shots her, but the whole scene of her going completely nuts and knocking people out left, right and centre, kicking the living hell out of Goku, was very enjoyable to watch, and it actually made the Tournament of Power more epic, because up until that point nothing really stupendous had happened, so this is where it really pushed, you know, got people's blood pumping. Number 8. Well, this is the title I've come up with: Saiyan Sisters Combo Ki Blast. Now, before anyone jumps on this video and says they're not sisters, I know they're not sisters. They call each other sisters in the show, or they refer to each other as sisters. A bit like you might call your best friend bro, okay? Just put it in terms like that. Okay, so got that out of the way. Okay, so I named, sorry about that. I gave that title this name because it's the moment they, KALE and Caulifla in episode 101, I know it's one episode from the last one, number 9, where KALE and Caulifla actually combine, they start working, well, they try to work together, but obviously, you know, KALE is trying to control her berserk power, and then she comes out of it, and then they try to fight the Pride Troopers, and they're getting pretty much, you know, whipped left, right and centre, because they're not working together. They're Caulifla's trying to protect Kale. Kale's going, she's like hiding behind rocks and stuff, and she's trying to help, but she just hasn't got the confidence. And then obviously she gets trapped in that dimensional bubble, controls the key, and has like a perfect, well, not berserk form, but she has like a Super Saiyan 1 form, but she looks more buff than like just transforming. Whereas if you notice with like Caulifla and Kada, that when they transform, their body still stays slim, but their hair changes, their power obviously increases. With Kale, when she transforms, even not into the berserk state, but into the controlled state, she still has muscle. The muscle comes out, and she gains height as well. She actually becomes a little bit taller, which is a bit strange. But the moment in that episode that I like the most is when they are fighting the Pride Troopers, and it's pretty much the last attack. They fire their key blast. Caulifla's one is red, Kale's one is green, and they do like it's kind of like the Vegeta and Goku final Kamehameha, except their own sort of version of it, and they knock the rest of the guys off of the arena, and obviously the rest just run away or hide or all that kind of stuff. But I did enjoy that moment because that was quite an epic sort of scene as well. With massive key struggles and stuff like that, always makes the scene a bit more epic. Even though they're just standing there going, ah, like screaming at the top of their voices, it does sort of give that sort of element that there's like, you know, a lot of power and a big struggle as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Number 7. KAIOKEN Super Saiyan Blue times 10. Obviously, this is the episode 30, sorry, 39, where Goku and Hit are facing off in the Universe Tournament Universe Tournament between 6 and 7, Universe 6 and 7, for you know the possession of the Super Dragon Balls or winning Earth, whichever one wins, of course, and we know who wins. But the moment when you know, Hit reveals that he can do as Saiyans do and improve his fighting skill or his abilities with each battle sort of thing, and displays it by seemingly powering up or parodying a power up, and then improves his time skip by, I think it was a fraction of a second or something. So he's like 5 times faster or something like that. He can move 5 times quicker into the future or something like that. But anyway, whichever way to describe it, his time skip is a lot better. It makes it harder for Goku to counteract. So obviously, Goku, being Goku, tries to push his limits as far as they will go, and then remembers he has the KAIOKEN that, although is not his own natural ability, his ability that he can tap into to multiply his current level of strength beyond its normal boundaries, if you will. So he is obviously in Super Saiyan Blue, and then he goes to, I think it's KAIOKEN times 10, and Hit tries to use his time skip. And obviously, because of KAIOKEN times 10 boosting the Super Saiyan Blue form, he's able to move quicker in time with the time skip to counteract that, to counter the attack, which is a great moment as well, because then they play the music and everything, and it's great. Then they showed the shot, and we think, okay, well, this is it. Goku's gonna win. He's gonna win the day. Blah 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 blah, and all that kind of stuff. And it looks really great. It's a really great scene. It's very impactful. And I would put that definitely at number 7 at the moment as being one of my top 10 favorites. Number 6. This one's entitled, or how I've titled it, Power Rage Rush Combo, and it refers to, in episode 7. That's my Bulma. That's my Bulma! Or whatever it is, I can't do the voice, but Vegeta versus BEERUS. I mean, this was a scene. This was a scene that was done better in the movie, aside from the show, but I think was still pretty good. It lacked some of the visual effects and animation that the movie had, but you can't have everything in the show, especially at the early stages as well. But I think what we got was still pretty good. Everybody wanted it. Everyone wanted to see Vegeta step his game up, considering in the last few episodes of Z, in the Buu arc, he just got his ass handed to him every 5 seconds by every new enemy, and never ever got the jump. I mean, if you've seen this, unless of course you haven't watched Dragon Ball Super yet, I recommend going and watching it, especially in the English dub. If you're used to the English dub, it's very, very good because the original actors are still there. But aside from all of that, going back, the scene where Vegeta just loses his head, basically, just loses all control and just overpowers. Does that Super Saiyan Power Rage thing that he did against Cell when Trunks was killed, Future Trunks. It's the same kind of deal. Bulma gets slapped by BEERUS, and he just goes completely nuts, kicks the living hell out of BEERUS, you know, fires a giant ki blast at the end, you know, comes out of his rage state by, he's just sort of like panting and stuff because he's used so much energy, and then obviously BEERUS is there and he's just like, yeah, whatever, slap, and then knocks, you know, Vegeta for 10. But the whole epic moment, you know, built up to that section is just, it's so good. The way it was delivered, the shots, the fight, the impact is, you can really feel the you know, the crunch and all that kind of stuff. I just think it was a really good scene, well written as well, and it also shows Vegeta as, you know, having a softer side to him, wanting to protect his loved one, his wife. So I also thought that was really good. Number 5, Ultimate versus Super Saiyan Blue KAIOKEN times 10. I tell you what, episode 90. The episode, you see at the beginning, Gohan is meditating with Piccolo standing there. Piccolo's saying, I think it's about time. Gohan sort of twitches a little bit, his eyes sort of goes, and he knows what Piccolo's talking about. It's time to test his power, to, you know, to test the full unlocked potential ultimate mystic, whatever you want to call it. And Gohan is the only person he can think of that he can use that the full extent of that power is against the strongest person that he knows, which is of course his father, Goku. So Goku and that they've just finished, you know, that business with Tien and Roshi, and they're sitting at the bar, and Goku's stuffing his face as usual, and then it all goes quiet, like a kind of western. Gohan and Piccolo just stroll in, and Goku's, hey, Gohan, sit down, have some food. And Gohan's just silent, and he's like, Dad, let's fight. And you can tell straight away in Goku's eyes, he's super excited. And it's the whole episode. I mean, I love the whole episode, but the fight between Gohan and Goku, that last build-up was probably one of the best things. One of the whole combat in that episode was just excellent. I just love the way. It's a shame that they made Tien so fodder-like, though, because I mean he doesn't even get a single shot off. I mean, all right, Piccolo doesn't actually do that much attacking, but you know he does get some. He gets some hits in. Sorry, man. Where it does that massive, like, you know, explosion that he does. I think he does it in like Dragon Ball Z versus 17 as well at one point. But sorry, just getting over a cold. He obviously, you know that, but Gohan's attack pattern, they just like knocks the hell out of all of them. Then when it's just Gohan and Goku, they're smacking each other about, they're dodging, countering, throwing each other. And then that last impact, that moment where he goes, take me seriously, go full power, and then they rush at each other. Just an epic moment, just an epic end to a brilliant episode. I mean, we all hoped that Gohan was going to be the victor in that, but we all knew it was going to be Goku anyway. But that whole scene was just so good. Number 4. Vegeta vs Goku Black, Round 2 or rematch. episode 63, I believe it was. 63, yes, 63. And that episode was just so good. In the first moments that, like, you know, Vegeta and Goku encounter Goku Black in the future, and then he goes Super Saiyan Rose and pretty much just wipes the floor with both of them. I mean, he shows short work of Vegeta the first time they fight. The second time they fight, oh my, that whole sequence was, every time I watch it now, it just, I get a shiver down my spine, because it's just, I mean, like, you know, and including every one of the Vegeta, because there's a couple on here, Vegeta moments on this list, it's just so much fan service. Okay, he doesn't necessarily win the day, but it shows that he could still, you know, tangle with the best of them, and it shows his progression with, like, you know, Goku surpassing him and falling behind and surpassing him is actually a real thing, because when they're fighting, you can see the difference in power between Vegeta fighting Goku Black and Goku fighting Goku Black, because Goku fights Zamasu and he's slapping him about like nothing, and the only time that Goku's ever able to, or at that particular point, keep up with Goku Black is that point when he's been told that they killed Chi-Chi and Goten, and he loses his complete rage and just goes completely nuts on him, because when he starts to calm down, he loses the fight again. But the moment that Vegeta is just laying into Goku Black, kicks him through a building, punches him through the floor, and then grabs him by the hair, headbutts him, kicks him, and just goes to town on him. It's just, it's a brilliant scene. It's probably one of my most favourite scenes, but I love that moment. Yeah, you know, I'm a bit of a Vegeta fan as well, but I just absolutely love that moment for the action in it as well, and the music that played into it was just so good. Number 3. Father and Son Gallic Gun. Ah, that was a brilliant moment. I mean, it was only a short moment, but it was such a cool moment, and it's something that all of us as fans, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, even Dragon Ball GT, well, I still think that they did Trunks wrong in that. I mean, the way he's dressed, but anyway, that's aside, that's a different argument altogether. But this is what we wanted as fans. We always wanted Vegeta to accept Trunks eventually, as, you know, because the whole story is that, you know, Vegeta is disappointed with the way Trunks has turned out, not being able to fight his own battles, not being able to stick up for and stand up for himself, having to rely on others, and obviously Vegeta with his pride is just, if you can't do that for yourself, then you're a failure and you're a disgrace to the family type thing, you know. But this particular moment, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. Trunks is obviously, he's having a massive struggle against Zamasu with his Gallic gun, and he's pushing as hard as he can, but he can't hold on. And Vegeta comes and he does his little monologue, and then he gets into the frame, and there's a double Gallic gun, and they're both firing and they're pushing Zamasu back, and Vegeta's like, give it all your power, and then they both, you know, shoot as hard as they can, give as much energy as they can into the Gallic gun, the joint Gallic gun, and then you can see in their face, as it, like, you know, fades in and out, you can see Trunks, Vegeta, and then Trunks again. That whole scene was just mind-blowing. I loved it, and I was not expecting it, and when it came up, I was just like, this, I think I shouted actually, but I was just so excited. I had to watch that. So I've watched that scene several times over and over and over, because I love it, because it shows again, you know, Trunks growing up and you know, being, because obviously in Z, sorry, he was a teenager. He was like 18 or 19 or something like that. In this, he's supposed to be like 30 odds, you know. And Vegeta again showing compassion for his family. You know, if you're going to fight any of my family, I'm going to be there with them, sort of thing. And I loved it. I just thought it was a brilliant scene. And I don't know what else to say about it. I just love it. I mean, that's why I put it at number 4. Sorry, I mean at number 3, not number 4. Sorry. But anyway, moving on. At number 2. Knocked the gold out of Frieza. I love this episode. And again, I know it's a Vegeta scene, and there are a lot of Vegeta scenes in here, but I think that all the scenes that they've had with Vegeta have been just so like pushed. You know, it is like they are listening to the fans, what they're saying, and giving the fans what they want, which is brilliant. Because I mean, then it might only be one-sided, because then that way there's no surprise. Because if we're all expecting it, or if we all want it and it happens, it's like, yes, we wanted that, but then it's like it's not necessarily a surprise. But we're still happy for it. And that moment when, obviously, when Goku is injured by Sorbet's stupid little gun, episode 27, I believe it is, and Vegeta basically he football kicks Goku over to Krillin. Well, I think Piccolo probably catches him, and then Krillin gives him a sensu bean, tra-la-la-la-la and all that, and then Vegeta says it's my turn, and Goku's like, yeah, sure, it's your turn, that's fine, you know, blah blah blah, and all that kind of transition. And the dialogue between the two is just brilliant. In the English dub, especially in the movie, I love that line that Golden Frieza says to him. He goes, "All hail Prince Vegeta." Is it? No, "All hail Vegeta, Prince of Nobody." I just thought that was the funniest thing. I mean, obviously, there's another side to that story, but that's a completely separate subject altogether. It's just when he's blue and he's like deflecting all those ki blasts, Frieza's just like, wow, this is a bit of a challenge actually. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Vegeta just swoops in, sucker punches him in the stomach, and then Frieza just goes for him again. He dodges, weaves, and then left, right, left, and then bit of kicking, you know, throwing around. He proper punches the hell out of him. I think he punches him so hard his head goes into the ground at one point. Then obviously boots him straight up into the air. He's up there again. Then he's smacking 7 tons of, well, stuff out of Frieza as they're falling to the ground. Massive explosion. And then, you know, he's Frieza then, you know, goes for him again. I think he knocks him one more time away, hits a bunch of rocks. When he gets up, loses his gold form back into his regular, you know, regular final form, if you will. Excuse me. But that whole scene was just so good, and it was very short, but it was so good. We have been waiting since Dragon Ball Z, I don't know, episode 95 or something like that, when Vegeta first fought Frieza, to have this moment where he actually takes him down, takes him out, doesn't kill him, just beats the living snot out of him, you know, properly humiliates the former Emperor of the Universe, and it's excellent. The Prince of all Saiyans versus the Emperor of the Universe. I just loved it. I thought it was so good, and it was justified. We so needed it, and we got it. At number 1, Final Kamehameha. Now, the one I'm referring to is the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Kamehameha, Final Kamehameha. I loved this scene. I mean, I know they've done it separately, and they did it in the Tournament of Power, which was also very good as well. They used it against the Trio de Danger, which was quite sad. I kind of like those guys, so yeah, it's a good attack, but I didn't think that. I mean, that fight in general was that would be a bonus fight if I could have like an honorary mention or something. The fight that Universe 9 has against Vegeta and Goku was very entertaining to watch. Spinning camera, everything like that. But that's your bonus. That's your bonus now. So I might put a clip in there or something. But anyway, going back to my most favourite moment, which would probably be the final Kamehameha wave from Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta versus merged, corrupt Zamos. I loved it. It was brilliant. The whole fight was good. I mean, like, from the moment he pops up and he goes, "Hey, it's me, Vegito. You've been stealing bodies all day. Oh no, that's from Dragon Ball Z." But we're along this same kind of thing, isn't it? He's like, you use each other to merge. So you know, we merged and now we are one, blah 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 blah, and all that kind of. I say blah 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 a lot, don't I? But anyway, that moment was just great. I mean, VEGETA is probably one of my most favorite well, Dragon Ball characters in general. Dragon Ball Super, just you know, romanticized me, if you like. I love it. But that one move, the final Kamehameha. Oh, what a move! I just love. But I mean, let's talk about the fight. Okay, so the fight goes on, and it's so fast-paced. It's like literally, you know, things are happening, and it's really hard to keep up. I had to watch the scene about like 3 or 4 times just to enjoy it. Like, I mean, I enjoyed it every single time, but I had to watch every single different frame because it happens so quickly, and it's so intense. Everything is just brilliant. I mean, even up until the point when it's like slightly quiet, and VEGETA does the Zamos kind of like, you know, Keyblade type thing that he did to Super Buu in Dragon Ball Z. That's a great moment as well. But the greatest of moments is obviously when he says, "It's time for you," you know, it's time for your demise or something like that. Oh, it's time we end this, and blah blah blah. I did it again. But the whole animation of that move is just excellent. I mean, if you watch the final Kamehameha, he does it. He starts it off like VEGETA. He puts his arms out to the side, like the final flash, and then he brings it in to the middle, and then pulls it back like the Kamehameha wave, and then fires it, and it is such a pretty color. That sounds strange, but I love the color combination as well. It's blue, a yellow, electric sort of like neon color. It's a nice the blue Kamehameha wave with the yellow final flash sort of wrapped around it like an electric bolt. It's an excellent, and when that move is fired, you can really feel the intensity of it. You know that whatever it hits isn't going to last very long. It's only because obviously Zamos being part immortal, because obviously one half of him wasn't immortal, the other half was, that he actually survived it. And I remember he quoted in the same episode 66, I think it was. He said that the next next final Kamehameha would finish him. But it was only because it didn't have enough energy to fire the second Kamehameha, final Kamehameha, I mean, that obviously, you know, they unfused and lost in the end. But that whole scene was just so good. I loved it. And when it happened, well, I've watched it several times. I've even made a theme tune based on that attack. That's how much I love that particular scene and that attack. It's so good. That's why it's at #1. And if you disagree with my list here, please put your own list in of your favorite, you know, combat moments of Dragon Ball Super. You don't have to put all 10. You can just put like your favorite moment if you want, just one. But if you want to put a list in, put your favorite 10 in there, and I might just do a bonus video and read your comments or something in the next video. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having a look. And again, if you disagree with me, then feel welcome to do as you will in the comment section below. Just be tasteful, because sometimes kids come onto this channel to watch the fun, and they don't want to see your profanities. Anyway, aside from that, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, you'll get every upload that I do, whether it be music, rants, theories, fun like this, or live streams. And always check out those live streams, because they're always good fun to have. I take requests, because I usually do it like a DJ night. I play music, and I can play anything from, you know, any of the Dragon Ball section of music that I have that you might know of. So always join those, come into the live chat, and make your requests. But I'm going to stop rambling now, because I'll just keep going on and on forever otherwise. But thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you again next time. Subarashii!